Good morning, good morning, good morning. And I've got to tell you, hey, I've become a Robert Henderson fan. I've always been a friend. We've always had a relationship.
That's
But
true.
but boy, I don't know. I might have to become a member of his congregation
Let the church
be-
say amen.
because he was preaching this morning. He was preaching and teaching this morning. Hey, welcome everybody to Understanding Money Part Two. I'm James T, and I don't know what I do here. I just join in. But anyway, I'm James T with WHQT Hot 105 Miami, and it's always a pleasure to come on with Mr. Henderson and Linda or High C or Antonio or Tavar, whoever. I just hey, if I'm invited, my grandmother taught me, said, don't make people glad twice. Glad to see you come and glad to see you go. So I try not to outstay my welcome. yeah. But uh Rob, look who's the first person to check in that we just talked about. But
Miss Anna
nevertheless,
Dupree. Miss Anna Dupree.
I had the pleasure of meeting this lovely lady on yesterday. And Rob, we had an understanding money session. and she was kind enough to share a book with me because she studies and I, it's so gratifying to know that what you do, Mr. Henderson, really has an impact on the lives of other people so that they can have an impact on the lives of others. And then when we come together as a group, a part of your conversation this morning as we go into a recap, and we are going to have a special guest. He promised me that he would come on. I spoke with him just moments ago, George Wallace. But when we are able to see that we can create a mindset for people to say, I have everything that I need to become anything that I can imagine.
Right.
That
Woo,
Rob,
that's powerful.
if you just get that, and Mr. Pre and I just had a wonderful conversation on yesterday. Again, I heard you earlier too. Give a shout out to Brother Bill Dozier and his staff and all the volunteers and all the supporters as well. We thank you for all that you do for the Urban Construction Craft Academy. I did stop by after work yesterday, did a video. If you didn't get a chance to get by, particularly to see some of that art. Oh, Rob, when I walked in and saw all that beautiful art that they
Beautiful
had,
too. Yeah.
it was beautiful. So, salutes to you, Brother Bill, for all that you do. And
That's
as he says, when I get a chance to have him on the radio, he tells hey, what he does for the community, when we support him, it's free to the people that they teach and train, Rob. It's no cost to them. It's not like he's saying, "Hey, come to my school so that I can charge you for." No, and so, Rob, how can you not love a brother like that? How can you not support a brother like that? And for those who work with him to help him and everything, hey, we thank you, we thank you, we thank you because we know that he can't do it alone, and so we all have to chip in and do our part. So anyway, Robert Henderson this morning dealt with those laws and principles that we can live by and that we can grow by. So I'm going to let Mr. Henderson introduce himself in this part two and then recap what he discussed this morning. And we'll look forward to having Mr. George Wallace, comedian George Wallace, check in with us in minutes. Okay, Robert?
yeah. Yes. I'm Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, president and founder of the Henderson Financial Group. Yes, James, we had a good time this morning. Linda wasn't here, so I was able to get loose, get off the chain, man. I just bucked wild. I went from A to Z, man, talking about these laws, these invisible laws. Hey, man, and I ran right into. I had spoke to Miss Anna Dupree, and I ran right into her at the front. Well, you had to get the ticket. You had to see her. You know what I mean? So I came right, and I introduced her to my wife Natalie. I told my wife about her. She had never met her, but
Right.
I had told my wife about her. So hey, Anna, it was so Miss Dupree. It was very, very nice to meet you. And the event was really nice, James. I mean, we stayed there. The food was good. It was a
Oh,
good atmosphere. The weather was it really, really cooperated. It was a nice little breeze. And like you said, that art was very, very unique and it was wonderful and beautiful. And I was so happy to contribute, to give. There's a law of giving. You know what I mean? I was talking about the
amen.
universal law, the law of giving and receiving.
It
Curtis
says,
Kegley.
give and it shall be given unto you. Full
Yes,
measure,
yes,
pressed down,
yeah.
shaken together, and running over. So, but those, Rob, those laws that you spoke about can, as you said, can impact our lives. And in my study this morning, I was telling Ms. Dupree about something I was studying with Mr. Goddard, and
Never
it's
got it.
Neville Goddard, right?
Mhm.
And uh, our conscious, first of all, knowing that we are I am, and the I am being the creator, you know, of all that there is. So if we were created in the image of the creator, can you imagine who we really are? Yeah, and what we can really do. And if we would get into that kind of consciousness, we can recognize that we can create those things that we desire. Oh, it is, I mean, almost like my thing. If anyone asks me, how are you doing?
It's like
Yeah.
magic. It's
Oh,
like magic, isn't it?
Rob, I am growing my consciousness to the fulfillment of my desire. Come on.
Isn't that something?
I am growing. I want to continue to grow my consciousness, my awareness, so that I can fulfill any desire that I can imagine.
And people think it's hocus pocus when you
Come
say
on.
that, but they don't know, they really don't realize that there are a lot of people who they don't even know, never met, but they read about them and all of the achievements that people have accomplished is through obeying, understanding those universal laws, like the law of action, the law of cause and effect. Because when you start understanding those laws, first of all, there's no blaming involved. It's all you. It's all you. You have all that you need in order to accomplish and adhere to the universal laws. They will work for you. They won't. They don't. It's not. They don't discriminate because you black or white or Spanish or tall or short. These are laws that you come as you are, and it's all your belief and your actions and your thoughts and your thinking. You could. Man, it's amazing how much can be achieved if you understand these invisible laws. They're unmutable. They don't move. They don't change. They've been here, and people just start discovering them about 4,000, 5,000 years ago that we know of. But we know that they've been a part of the world, been part of our
Creation
existence, creation since the beginning.
in the beginning.
Since the beginning, man.
In the beginning.
Since the beginning.
I thought, and then I spoke.
Yes.
And it was. and the thing that Neville Goddard talks about with the I am situation is that when we become conscious of whatever it is, whether it is the higher or the lower consciousness, that is the life that we live. That's the world that we create for ourselves. I was reminded in that study how, everybody's now talking about our governor here in Florida, and how he speaks of the fact that there's no value in teaching, quote unquote, Black history or the history of Blacks, So, but again, and people get upset with that. I don't get upset with it. I say that that's who he is. That's his consciousness. So I don't want to get in his world. I want to, hey, Rob, I want to stay in my world. Now, let him get what he's going to get being in the consciousness that he's in. Let him get that. Here's hoping he'll grow out of it, but if he doesn't, then, hey, then that's the world that he lives in. And he is going to get what he should get with that consciousness.
Oh yeah. It's automatic. It's precise. I mean, it's like a scorpion is a scorpion. That's what a scorpion do. I mean, you can't make a scorpion be a fish. That's not what they do. I mean, that's and understanding the ways of a scorpion is an education. I mean, it's for all us to see and to be aware and don't play with it. So when you see someone who is blind or someone who's doing what they're doing, and especially if they can't see love and prosperity for all, then you know that that person is blind. But that is that person role. That person has come to the planet, has come to Earth to do what they're supposed to do. That's and it's our role is to observe it and to see it and to know. It's like crack. It's like crack. I mean, you know, either you get with it or you don't get with it. You know what I mean? It's like casino gambling. It's either you spend all your money and wind up with nothing or you don't. But you can't say that just because you don't smoke marijuana, you know, the people that smoke it is evil. I mean, if you don't smoke it, don't smoke it. I mean, if you don't drink, don't drink. I mean, if you like, you know, if your viewpoint says that African American study has no value, you as a matter of fact, it's a universal law where that says that you cannot change another. You can only change yourself. That is a law. You waste the time and you hurt yourself and you feel bad. And feeling bad, anytime you feel bad, that is an example of you out of alignment. You're getting further from the truth. And anytime you get further from the truth, pain comes. It's like when you get close to the sun, it's warm. But if you further you go from the sun, you get cold. So metaphorically speaking, if God is love, and the closer you get to God and closer you get to love, you feel good. But as you go away from love, you feel cold and you don't feel good. see that's so you don't have to change nobody but yourself.
Whoa. Hey, Goddard says this, and believe me, I'm not taking any credit for this. I'm reading. He says, in the state of consciousness of the individual is found the explanation of the phenomena of life. If man's concept of himself were different, everything in his world would be different. His concept of himself being what it is, everything in his world must be as it is. Thus, it is abundantly clear that there's only one I am, and you are that I am. And while I am is infinite, you, by your concept of yourself, please check this out. You, by your concept of yourself, are displaying only a limited aspect of the infinite I am. Rob, we don't want to be limited. You said earlier this morning, I don't want no cap on my, I can't.
That's right.
Rob, come on. I tell, recently, in negotiating, I had to say, if I can't grow, it's time to go.
That's right.
I'm not going to stay someplace where I'm not growing.
That's right.
Yeah. And I know that God did not create me, to be stagnant. I've got to grow. So using that concept, if I'm in a position where I can't grow, Rob, I've got to express my faith by saying, see ya.
That, I when I said that this morning about, at a very young age, it was so easy for me to see, so clear for me to see that I didn't want to live a life of cap. I didn't want, I just mentally, I just could not, because if I was supposed to believe that I was created by the creator and there was endless possibility, why would I climb into a hole? Why would I go somewhere where there was limitations when we live in a unlimited world? And I just didn't, I never understood that. I just never understood that. And I still don't understand it today when someone says they want to go take a job and they're going to pay them $40,000 a year. In order to live and be comfortable, you need $50,000. Why would you go? That's like saying you hungry and you get in line to get one potato chip. Knowing that you're going to be hungry, but every day you get up to get one potato chip. If you're going to get one potato chip to eat because you're hungry, you get in line, you got to get another line somewhere else. You can't just stay in that one line and go back home. If they're going to give me one potato chip, I'm going to get in 1,000 lines that day.
Find another line.
Find another line.
Rob, and I'm saying, and you don't have to do that in anger. You know,
No,
I
and
mean,
it's nobody. It's nobody. It's really nobody's fault. If
no,
you
no,
in a line,
no.
if you hungry, and they say we're gonna give you one a spoon of potatoes, and you ain't gonna, that can't carry you all day. But this line said we in this line in this job, this all we paying. Okay,
Mm.
you can't
Hey,
get mad at the
no.
person no. You got to for yourself the law of action. If you know you need more in order to live, you got to do something about it, man. What you gonna just say? No, that's I'm malnutrition because I get in the same line every day and they give me one spoon of macaroni.
But don't get into the consciousness that you can only get a spoon.
That's right.
See that
That's
that's
the
the other
problem.
part. Rob. That is so often the problem. We get it. Yeah. Well, I guess I might as well take this because I can't get you. I think you said something to someone earlier, may have been in the chat, and you said, no, you got to change that. Don't say that. Because
Yes.
that's what you're going to bring in, and that's the frequency that you're going to be on, and the frequency you're on
Words are powerful.
is going is going to attract exactly what you think and what you say.
Words are powerful. We are more powerful than we can even
Oh,
imagine.
come on, brother,
We don't
brother,
even know
brother.
ourselves. We don't know how powerful we are. And our thinking, I mean, we just don't. That's what we're talking about right now. And that's why I said understanding the invisible laws, then it deals well with having a prosperous life, but you have to understand the rules and invisible rules and the different laws, the law of compensation, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, the laws of resistance, the laws of action, the laws of giving. I mean, why do you think so many wealthy people give?
Ooh.
Because that's a reason why they just give. They don't want to just give their money away. They're giving it because they know, according to the universe, the more you give, the more you receive. That's just a law, and ain't nobody can do nothing about it.
Rob, and you talked about the five, those senses. We get stuck on what we're taught, and yes, hey, I love teachers. When you said that you remembered one, man, I can remember Miss Burgess. I can remember Miss Clyde Spencer Richardson, Miss Juanita Gardner. I can remember Miss Pope. I can remember Mr. Toots. But these were people during that time who were really taking us beyond just what the book said. Rob, I think we just got a special guest. But before we go to our guest, going back to those people that I remember, we were able to have people that would go beyond what was just written. They would teach us character. They would teach us perception. They would teach us intuition and imagination. Now in your class, you had to pay attention, but they didn't stop you from dreaming or imagination. So all of a sudden, hey, we were going beyond, and it was coming at an early age. I love giving Bessie Thomas what she gave me as a third grade student. She said, no, you're not going to the field. I'm going to show you how to earn money and never have to beg a white man for a job. Can you imagine being taught how to do that as a third grader? Rob, and for the rest of my life, it put me on a different journey because I had to become something greater than what people wanted to hire so that I could negotiate. Hey, we got
have a limited and you took the limits off of you, your whole thinking.
Oh, come on, man.
you, all that you could be. So we talked about that's what the laws of compensation is, and as much as I love teachers, man, there's a mathematical principle, it's a mathematical laws, cause and effect. And remember, James, I know you said you like when I said the law of compensation. You have to ask yourself the three things. Whatever you do, is there a need for what you do?
Whoa.
In other words, is there a need?
Yes, sir.
Is there a need for what you do? I mean, if you had a beeper company, it was a short lived because right now they don't have a need for beepers. You know what I mean? Your ability to do what you do.
How well can you do that? How good are you? How good are you at what you say you're gonna do? But give us that last one, Rob, because this is the winner. What was that last one?
And the difficulty there
to replace
is
you.
to replace you. Now, can you easily be replaced? In other words, if you're a cafeteria worker, are you boasting saying they can't get rid of me because I'm the best server? I serve them grits. Now, the law of compensation said, no, you could be replaced. We ain't got to pay you that much. But if you the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, you ain't that easy replaceable. So they're gonna have to pay you. You know what I mean? If you're a heart surgeon and you really good, you saving lives, you ain't easily replaced. You know what I mean? They can't get Junebug on the corner to take your job.
And Robert Henderson, if I was looking for a comedian to open up my show, there's one man that you could not easily replace. Would you please bring him in so he could get in on this conversation?
My man.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. You can't get Junebug to do my job. And that ticks me off when people say, if I can do it, you can do it. That's baloney. Everybody can't do what I do. Come on, Mr. Henderson.
That's right.
ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how long it's been since I've known this man. He say he's my daddy, but
I am your daddy. I'm your real daddy.
and I asked him, hey Rob, I asked him when he said that on radio the other day. I said, then why didn't I see you for 18 and 19 years? where were you?
Like your third grade teacher, I wanted to teach you that you can live without me on your own.
I learned that lesson, George Wallace.
Didn't I tell you when you was 3 years old, if you ain't got no money, go get some Coke bottles, go get some pop soda bottles, get your 2 pennies back, make it. You can make some money. You can make it if you try. Sly and the Family Stone said that. You can make it if you try.
Yeah, hey, James. What I gotta notice, it says Dr. Wallace.
Oh, excuse me.
It's Dr. Wallace. Don't you feel better since you've been talking to me already? Laughter is healing for the soul. Talk to him, James T. Tell him.
Well, you told me you don't tell jokes. What you told me you tell.
I tell lies. Oh, Mr. Henderson. Mr. Henderson, you have no idea how much I love to lie. You know why I started lying? Because life is a lie. Every time you wake up, I was watching TV this morning, James T., and there was a commercial for one-a-day vitamins. Don't you remember that, Mr. Henderson? One-a-day.
Yes, I do.
Read the directions. What does it say? Take 2. Everything is a lie. I'm trying to tell you. They used to tell us to clean your ears with Q-tips. You can't do that no more, huh? Everything is a lie. Oh, James T., our parents lied to us. Remember, they used to tell us when we were young, don't drink coffee. Coffee make you black. Mr. Henderson, I ain't lying.
I drink a lot of coffee, must be, huh?
James T., you crossing the line.
No, hey, I'm letting you tell these lies.
What you say, James T., you drink a lot of coffee.
No, hey, my grandmother used to say, I'm going to put some coffee in your milk. See, I grew up with a grandparent. She didn't let me drink coffee.
Okay.
Yeah,
they didn't want us to. There's a lot of things they didn't want us to do, but they lied to us all the time. If it's a lightning and what is it? If the sun is shining and it's raining at the same time, they say the devil beating his wife. Oh, our parents used to tell us some lies, you know. Driving down the street to see steam coming out of a manhole cover. My daddy said the devil cooking dinner. Oh my goodness. Mr. Henderson, you're not old enough to know how many lies we grew up. The preacher will walk up in the pulpit. That's how I became a comedian. The preacher will walk up in the pulpit. I had preachers at the show last night. I had them standing up. Why do preachers lie? Get up in the pulpit with the Bible in their hands, and they say, I won't be long. Just flat out lying.
And 2 hours later, you talk about my stomach is growling. I'm ready to go home and get something to eat.
And he up there still talking about, I got to stop now. Well, sit your ass down. I got to stop now. I'm trying to stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Wallace. Wait, let me get some business out of the way here. George Wallace is in Miami on this date. Now he's going to be here today, which is what is the day? The 18th?
18th. Yeah.
And he'll be here tomorrow as well. So for those of you in the Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County, even our brothers and sisters in the Bahamas, if you want to come over and check him out, he's at the Miami Improv, and he'll have 2 shows tonight. Is it, George?
2 shows tonight. There's a 7 o'clock show and a 9:30 show. You need to be there and come. And it's just wonderful to be in Miami. I haven't been here in so long. And people were saying stupid stuff. Somebody said at the show yesterday, came in the showroom, a lady said, it's raining outside. I said, well, why the hell else would it be raining?
Not this, it won't be rated this side.
It won't. That's why you came in. So it's all about laughter. It's all about laughter.
Well,
Why
George,
took so
go
long
ahead.
to get back to? What took you so long to come back to Miami?
They call me the new Mr. Vegas. I'm the only black man that ever owned the show for 15 years in Las Vegas. I didn't work for the hotels. I owned the show. I did the marketing. I did the advertising. And that's why I was away for a while. You talk about making money. That's what I was doing in Las Vegas. I've done more shows in Las Vegas than any African American, and that includes my good friend Red Fox, whom I worked for, Red Fox, Lena Horne, and Sammy Davis Jr. And I live after them. I love what they do and how they lived, and so that's why I haven't been to Miami. I was in Las Vegas all those years, and they even gave me the title, the new Mr. Vegas, and Wayne Newton didn't like that.
Well, I know he didn't. I know he didn't.
Well, but George, I was telling Robert when because Robert was at a conference when I got in touch when I asked you, would you come on? And man, first of all, thank you so much. This brother, as you can probably see and hear, is genuine. And Robert, when he talked about that OWN, it wasn't the Oprah Winfrey Network. He and John Witherspoon, I used to have the greatest conversations with, not necessarily on the air, but talking and sharing, because that's what we do. When I asked him about, I said, hey, George, you live in California? And what did you tell me, George? California, Las Vegas?
Los Angeles, New York City, Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't do drugs. I got caught up in real estate, okay?
Therefore, he knows that to have an estate, you should be in real estate. You know,
in a real estate. That's what I did. And somehow I wound up with 17 properties. I don't know how, and the economy goes up and down. When the economy goes way down, you had it in Miami some years back. When these $3 million condos in Miami, they were like $800,000. And people, my friends said, you got to come by. I should have bought that, but the wind was blowing real strong then. I said, hell no. And then the people were, Mr. Henderson, I didn't come down here because Miami was crazy at the time. I told James C. yesterday, that I went to McDonald's and I ordered a sausage McMuffin meal, and the cashier said, what would you like to drink? I told her orange juice. She says, I'm sorry, sir, we're out of orange juice. I said, in Florida? You're out of orange juice in Florida? And Mr. Henderson, I'm looking through the back window. I'm looking at 10 orange trees. Somebody could easily go out there and pick them oranges, make me some oranges, some fresh squeeze. Is it squeeze, squoze, or squish?
Don't worry about it. Just get you some orange juice. They can squish it, squeeze it. You just want an orange juice. But
some fresh orange juice.
George, for those who may not know your history, and I asked the other day about longevity, but I don't want to deal with the longevity as much as I want to deal with. Tell us about your getting into the world of comedy, and let us know, because even I shared with some people in the station. I said, do you know that gentleman roomed with Seinfeld at once upon a time? So give us a little history.
He just talked to me 5 minutes ago. He's in Cleveland tonight, and I'm sending my kids up in Cleveland, Ohio, because I went to school in Akron, Ohio. And a lot of people don't know I am the real Mr. Henderson. You seen Seinfeld? You know the character George?
Oh yeah.
I'm the real George. I'm Jerry Seinfeld's roommate. I'm his roommate for 13 years. Okay, I'm the best man at Jerry Seinfeld's wedding. I'm the father of Jerry Seinfeld's kids. So you need to know.
Does Seinfeld know that?
I've been blessed. I wanted to be a comedian since 6 years old. I went to college. I got a degree in transportation, my first degree. We can talk about that later because most people don't know what a degree. Transportation is the #1 industry in the world. A lot of people think it's the auto industry and or the oil industry. But transportation is the #1. People fail to realize how certain goods get to your shirt off your back had to get to you through some form of transportation, especially here in Miami on the water. Shipping is the #1 mode of transportation. So I did that. Then I went on to become vice president of the world's largest outdoor advertising agency. Everything you see at Times Square, the spectaculars, the billboards, all of that, I used to be vice president of that, believe it or not. And then I said, okay, I saved up a lot of money. I had like $400. This was back in the 70s. And I said, okay, that's a financial cushion. And I moved to LA and became a comedian, like my passion, my dream, and to work for Red Fox, to write the Red Fox show. God has been good to me.
Amen. And after all these years, he's still with us, and that's a beautiful thing. Rob, you got a question for Mr. Wallace?
Yeah, yeah. I know James was telling me about you really like real estate, because we like a lot of real estate. We're a full service financial planning firm, and we got stockbrokers license and insurance brokers license. We have all that, but one of the licenses that we really like to help people diversify and buy real estate, because we think, we know that God is not making any more land. So we like real estate. What made you get into buying more real estate? Was it for the tax deductions or was just for building wealth?
No, it was for no reason whatsoever. I always known real estate, they don't make it anymore, like you said before, but I didn't do drugs, okay? So and I don't drink. So you have to invest in life. And
Uh-oh, you froze on us. Ah, he
Oh,
froze it.
somehow,
I just
He
yeah.
froze.
Oh, you froze on us.
I don't know if you can hear us, George, but
unfreeze
oh,
me. Unfreeze me.
unfreeze.
I got,
Okay.
when you
All right, you unfroze right now.
unfreeze, when you hey, Mr. Henderson, I make a lot of money, but I'm still trying to save. I'm my TV service, my technical service. What do you call it? Say, I'm on a boost phone. That's what I'm trying to say. Boost.
Oh,
I can afford like
Stop.
you're on
the
a
boost
boost.
are tricky, so I'm going in and out.
Well, you couldn't even get on with a boost phone, so we know you're not on that. But what you were saying
But so
was,
many people, I thought I had my phone on disturb. People are calling. Am I okay now? Am I clear?
yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
you
sounds
good.
as if you're clear now. So tell those people who trying to call you that you're busy or something.
Well, I thought I had it on undisturbed, but do not disturb. But yes, but if you want to have some fun, come out, put laughter in your life. Come out to the Improv, Miami Improv. It's a beautiful club, good food. I'm there tonight and tomorrow night, and the preachers are coming like crazy. I love my preachers come. I make them stand up like they make us stand up. I make them stand up for 30 minutes. They need to know how it feels.
Well, George, I don't know if your phone is going to allow us to have much time with you, but again, with all the comedians and all the entertainers that you have been with, what are some of the secrets for success, or what would you say some of the secrets for your success were?
I teach people, make sure you enjoy your life. Be you, be honest, and just have fun. And no matter what you do, there's a market for you. You know, there's some clean comedians out there. There's some dirty comedians out there. Nobody did it better than Richard Pryor. I'm in between. Whatever you want to do, just be you. And there's a market for you out there. And I just started laughing. I can laugh about anything. And I know everybody loves to laugh. Laughter is healing. I tell you, when you stop laughing, you stop living. Just think about it. And I tell people, if you see someone without a smile, give them yours. See, the
Okay.
greatest thing
So,
in the
but
world,
so,
what is the greatest thing in the world? When you see a baby smile, that's all you need. So it's
but
important to keep smiling. And when I see happy people, it makes me happier. So I love to go to work. I'm ready to go to work right now, Mr. Henderson. Because all I do is lie. Oh, I love lying. Oh, my goodness, I love lying.
but let me ask you something. How was you in show business? In show business and the entertainment field, we often hear about the drugs that get the best of people. And you said that you don't do drugs. How was you able to restrain? How was you able to not go down that alley? If it was something you saw or whatever, what happened? This God, it saw an angel or something? What had you were you able to say, no, I'm not going to let that overcome me? Tell us about that.
That was a choice. There are many angels around me. When you meet people like James T. and my parents and the people I grew up in my community, I grew up in one of those old communities, Mr. Henderson, where people would watch over you. And then when I got to college, I said, when you get to college, you're supposed to have a drink. I teach young people, get all that stuff out of your system, have a good time. But I had like a 7 and 7, and I went to a college party, a fraternity party once, and they had a thing, I think they call it the devil's pan or something like that. They said everybody bring whiskey, wine, or whatever, they put it in a tub, and you drink it from that. And I got so drunk, and the world started spinning around. I didn't know that the room could actually spin. Ooh, it's fun. And I said, I never want to be drunk again in my life. I never want to be out of control of who I am. So I didn't do. I just never. I always wanted to be in control of me. So I said, I ain't gonna smoke because I seen so many people go down the wrong path, and it's just not me. I love laughing. That's my laughter is better. What I do is better than sex and drugs. I'm telling you, I love what I do. Better than sex and drugs, making people laugh. You walk on stage, you got 1,000 people, 10,000 people sometimes, and they come to see you. You must be somebody. That ain't nothing but that's a blessing right there. That's a blessing.
That is a blessing.
So I stayed away from drugs and drinking. And like I said, going to the stage, I'm going to get high.
Hey, George,
and God, I'm a God-fearing man, so I never want to do the wrong thing. I love living. And if I die tomorrow, the world owes me nothing.
Not a thing, huh? Well, George, give us an unforgettable moment of your life, or something that stands out with you in your lifetime of being a comedian, being around other comedians and other entertainers. Give us one of those unforgettable moments.
I can't tell you oh man, this is very difficult because I've been so blessed to unforgettable moment. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I was at Dr. King's funeral, okay? Unforgettable moment. Muhammad Ali walking into my dressing room, unforgettable moment. Sly and the Family Stone coming to my show in Las Vegas and performing for the first time in 25 years, opening with Go Online. You can see Sly and the Family Stone with George Wallace. Unforgettable moment. It's just, oh man, just hanging out with Bishop G.E. Patterson and Bishop Charles E. Blake. Unforgettable moments. There's a man in Chicago. He lives in Washington, D.C. now. He went on to do something nobody had ever done before. He became president of these United States, coming to my show in Las Vegas, hugging me. Unforgettable moments. Being on Oprah. Unforgettable moments. I could just go on and on and on and on. And just being in Miami. Being in Miami. Mr. Henderson, when you get off the plane, people say stupid stuff to you. I get off the plane in Miami, my guy says, "Oh, Mr. Wallace, you in town?" Just, you remember moments like that. Am I in town? You look at that, ain't you?
Well, I'm going to tell you, one of my unforgettable moments was meeting you, my brother. And I want to thank you so much for taking time out with us. I always like to respect people's time, but invite people again to come out and check you out at the Improv, at the Miami Improv. Go right ahead.
I got one more question. I got one more question before you leave. Before you leave. Now you say you had, because I'm a real estate guy, you say you have 17 properties. Now that's 17 homes you live in, or those commercial properties? Real estate. Is it rental property?
In Atlanta, I bought a place that was 20 acres, and it was when the market was down. I just bought 20 acres for a small amount of money. It didn't matter. I said, well, eventually it's going to increase either way, and I got money sitting in the bank. Just buy the land, and that's how I did it. And opportunities came up, and that's how I just got into real estate, and I just love it. And it has paid off big time. And I'm of age now. I got to sell those properties and start using this money because I want to die broke, like Red Fox and Canada. They died broke. But anyways, before I go on, I need to let you guys know. Always remember 3 things in life. Never forget that God upstairs takes care of us each and every day, even while we're sleeping. God is watching over us, okay? Number 2, always pay your taxes. You don't want to get in trouble with the government, okay? That's 2 things you should remember. And number 3, what an honor it is to have met George Wallace. Don't ever...
George Wallace is going to be at the Miami Improv this weekend, folks. If you can, please, you're going to have a great time. First of all, no matter how you come in, you're going to go out feeling better because he is Dr. George Wallace. Miami Improv, 2 shows on Saturday night and a show on Sunday. And he told me he was going to have communion on Sunday. So if you miss church, you can come to George Wallace and he'll have communion for you.
And we got a real thumber now. We ain't got the little plastic things that you can't get the wafer. They got the new church, you can't get the wafer. The old lady's cussing in church because they can't get the wafer off the little thumber of wine. And wait a second, it's the most ugly tasting wafer in the world, isn't it? Go back to the old soda crackers.
Somebody said that. Somebody said they need to get the soda crackers.
And I learned so much from you, James. God bless you, God. I learned so much about the Bible from James. You have no idea.
Stop.
He told me.
Oh, go ahead.
God made Adam and Eve. He ain't never heard nobody them getting married at no wedding. He doesn't. And I go, oh my God, that is so good. Did you know that, Mr. Henderson?
I knew. He told me that too. He told me that I've been married for 36 years.
Say it again.
He told me that, and I've been married for 36 years.
Well, he He's a wonderful man, and if you hang out with JT, you're gonna be somebody.
Oh.
I hung out with him for a whole hour the other day. Changed my life.
George, stop. Bye. Hey, thank you so much, Mr. Wallace. Love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Wait a minute, you can't do my saying in front of me while you're on the phone. That's
I
my
did.
saying.
I created
Dr.
that.
Joe Thomas, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
I created that. Just like I created it's the James T. Good Morning Show.
James T, let me ask you one more question.
What?
James T, one more question. How old were you when your mind just got up and walked away from you?
It happened yesterday. Bye. See you. Okay. Take care. He is. I know we were having some difficulties with the sound, but I really do thank George for doing that. But he's a great guy, Doc. But he and Mr. John Witherspoon. John is gone now. He has since gone. But he and John were just great people. John had real estate as well. He talked about how in the business he would take quote unquote parts, and when you would see them on the screen, the big screen, whether it was in movies, he said, James T, people don't know. There were times when we would be in a movie and I just got $500 just to be in the movie. He said, but what I would do in ad libbing, it would stand out and it would help sell quote unquote the movie. And and one of the things that I wish I had taken John up on was when he said, I want you to meet two people, and one in particular, and one of them was Byron Allen, but he said, I want you to meet Byron's mom, because it was Byron's mom who, while studying law, worked with worked at the theater or wherever they were doing the Johnny Carson show. And so Byron Allen would go as a child when his mother would go to work. And of course, now, man, Byron Allen is doing some great things and wonderful things. So I didn't. He said, "Man, I want you to come out to California. I want you to meet him, because when we Robert find ourselves in a position of being thinkers and doers, and also, like you said, and givers, I think it creates an attraction to other people, like people who are thinkers, who are givers, and who are doers. And so all of a sudden, so it may happen. It may still happen. But anyway, everybody, once again, welcome back. We did have a little session with Mr. George Wallace. It was a little difficult at times in hearing him clearly. Hope you enjoyed that part, but he is in town, and maybe we'll have him on once again. But going back to you, Mr. Robert Henderson, you had some principles, and I always like to give the principles too, and laws, the law of perception, the law of memory, the law of will, the law of intuition, the law of imagination. And along with those other 5 laws, if you can combine those, I think it'll really put us in a position where we can change our life and then change the lives of others.
Yeah, I mean, just being knowledgeable, just being conscious of there are some laws, and these are tools that you can use to help better your life. And oftentimes, a lot of us, coming up, we feel confused or we feel alone. But these laws, these invisible laws that a lot of us don't know about or don't use, are comforters. I mean, when you know the law, it gives you a whole lot of strength. You have an advantage of people who don't know the law and the rules, the laws, basically how to navigate, because these laws regulate every aspect of each of our lives. Some people, one time you're wondering, why is this person doing this, or how are they able to achieve these goals? And that's because they have a blueprint, and you need to be able to understand what is happening, what's happening to you, why certain people do certain things, and how you can help yourself. Kim Mills asks about what is PMA. Kim, P stands for positive, M stands for mental, A stands for attitude. So you got to have a positive mental attitude You don't want to have NMA, which is negative mental attitude. And that attitude or that thinking, whatever you're thinking, you attract. And that goes under the laws of attraction. So if you want to be positive, I don't care when it's like when life gives you lemons, instead of feeling bad about them, you can always make lemonade. You can make lemon meringue pie. There's a lot of things you can do with what you have if you be positive. You can always turn a negative into a positive. So having a positive attitude, you just got fired from that job, but you got fired from that job because now you're forced to go ahead and create and do, and now you become wealthy. If you hadn't have got fired, you wouldn't have reacted and went ahead and achieved and used your inner self and your inner powers to bring the best out of you. So a lot of times, you got divorced, it made you feel bad, but because of that, now you have went higher, you've grown, you're more prosperous, so it's having a positive mental attitude is one of the keys to success. We call them PMA. That's what Antonio said. That's what he talked about.
Yes. And not only that, Rob, I think it also helps to have people around you that have positive mental attitudes as well. Because if you are constantly dealing with the negative, how you gonna do that? You can't do that. No, and usually the people that are closest to you can be the people who have, quote unquote, that NMA, that negative mental attitude. But Rob, you touched on something that Neville Goddard also speaks about, and it was taught when he talked about magnetics. He said that the iron, the same molecules is in the same piece of iron, but they're just redirected to be magnets.
That's something.
Hey, the same ingredients is in us, but we have to just redirect it so that we can attract those things that bring us into greater. So that's why consciousness, that thinking is so important. And let people say, quote unquote, you're crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can say, yeah, I'm crazy, but I'm also I have sound health, I have peace of mind, I have freedom from fear and worry, I have a positive mental attitude, and a labor of love of my own choosing. And George was talking about that, although he was doing some great things in other areas, but he got into the labor of love of his own choosing, and he can do that for the remainder of his life.
Yeah, and you notice when I asked him about how did he resist in entertainment and in show business that trap of getting into drugs, and alcohol, and he said, he pointed to his forehead, his temple. He pointed to his temple and he said choice. And when he says choice, what he's basically saying is basically you are in control. You are the master of self. You just got to act like it. You can choose. You can choose which road and what you will do. No one. You're the master. You're the king. You're the queen of self. And as soon as you start understanding that, you can prosper. And for a lot of people that have questions and they have answers, people oftentimes they're looking at other things outside of them that can help bring them to the promised land, so to speak. They feel that if they can become an attorney, or they can become, a lawyer or a doctor, or they can, join a network marketing or whatever. People are looking for things that are on the outer, but things on the outer really, when you understand the universal law called cause and effect, everything that you achieve, those are effects. So being a certified financial planner is an effect. There was something that caused that. That's where the power is. See, the causes are always way more powerful and they are invisible than the effects. The effects, once you get them, it's like you getting a college degree. There was a cause for you going to college and taking that time and achieve it, and finally you graduated, you got that degree. That was the effect. But you can't just stop with effects, because you have a diploma, have a degree, and you're hanging on the wall, life ain't over yet. That's just an effect. So you can't just live off effects. You need the law of action. You got to do something now. So see, it's always fluid. It's always a journey. You can't just say, if I achieve this, even when you say, listen, I want to spend a lot of money because I want to get married and we're going to have a big wedding. Okay, that was the cause. That was the cause. But the effect was the wedding. Now the day has come upon you. But that's been 10 years ago. Are you going to keep playing the wedding video and looking at it? Or are you going to get out here and live? You can't get stuck on effects. A lot of us, our goal is the effects, but it's not. The effects are temporary. I want to say it again. The effects are always temporary. That's why you got to keep causing things. You got to continue. I mean, you can bake a pie and eat it, but that's just today. What you gonna do about tomorrow or next day? You don't ate that pie. You got to keep causing more pies to be made. You got to keep moving. So we really got to, I could just talk a whole day on cause and effect, man.
And consciousness is the cause, Rob, because of our thinking. But we don't want to change our thinking. We want to live on what we learned through, whether it was college or 12th grade. That's not going to take us.
That's old stuff.
That's not going to take us where we've never been. So that's
right.
why the constant studying, the constant learning, and get rid of the fear. Get rid of the fear and invest the time. That's the other thing. More valuable than money is time. To me.
Man.
More valuable than money is time to me.
Because you can have some money, time will make it grow.
But
if you invest it right.
And Bob Proctor does a thing with the hourglass. He said, now what's in the bottom, the past. That's the past. And what's right in the little cylinder that's coming down, that's right now. But you don't know how much you got in the top. You don't know how much sand you got left. So why don't you, take advantage of that right now? Because you can't do anything about the past. The past is past. It's gone. But you can deal with the right now. And so often we're afraid to deal with right now because we want to stay comfortable. So, it's almost like sitting on a nail. You talk about how it hurts, but the fact of the matter is, if you continue to sit there, it's going to continue to hurt. So
you got to get up. That's the law of action.
You got to do
That's the law of action. What is the law of action? You got to move something.
You got
right?
You have to. And what it does, Robert, more than anything is, yes, it does something for us as individuals, but believe me, it does a whole lot more for other people. When we can do good, when we can be good, when we can help others. I was looking at a scripture the other day that said, when you give to someone or when you help somebody, and it equated it, don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. It says, just give. You don't have to, as I tell people, you don't have to put it up on a billboard that you gave. Hey, if you helped somebody, you don't have to announce that you helped them. You helped them, okay? Because there are a lot of people, whether we want to acknowledge or not, that helped us.
Yes,
in some way, form, or fashion. They helped us. So know that we are our brothers and our sisters' keeper, and if we can love ourselves, then we can love them better. Because you can't love others until you really love yourself.
Yeah, man. I like that, James. I was thinking about as you was talking, because a lot of people, especially a lot of people of color, we got this thing about these different cars or something. But why do you think, and let's think about that, because it's closely aligned with our thinking. They can come out with a car this year and we can say that car look good, and it's a 2023. Now, the same car, whatever make and model you want, a Toyota, BMW, Mercedes, or whatever, the car looks so good for 2023, a brand new car. There's a reason why the 2024 is going to look different than the 2023s. Now, it's still, if they sold a lot of 2023s, Why would they come out and change the model in 2024 or 2025 or 2026? That's because they steady moving, right? They steady creating, and they know that we're going to be satisfied for 2023. But oh boy, they're gonna make us one of the 2024, the 2025, or the 2026. It's like being on a treadmill, not really going it, but you steady spending your money, and they all that they doing is just change. So if we ourselves evolve and change our thoughts and our movement and our thinking,
Amen.
we can't keep thinking 1970. We got to be thinking 1923. And 1923,
Yeah,
you know,
2023.
2023
Yeah.
definitely should not be thinking 2023 when 2024 come or 2025, because the world and all of its effects change and evolve every year, but we don't.
Rob,
Think
you know,
about that.
there was something that I read recently this past week in a study, and it was saying, what if every time you would go to bed, you could retract everything that you did that day, and you do that every day. You know, I did this, I did
You'll
this, I
learn
did
something.
this. You learn, and Bob, and you learn something about yourself. You learn that you didn't think of. I had I'm going to confess something. I was planting a plant earlier this week, and so I ran the hose out as far as it would go in the yard, so I wouldn't have to water the new plant. I wouldn't have to carry the pail so far, right? So boom, I went out, watered both of the plants, newly planted plants, da 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 da. I did that about just early evening. I came back in. uh, the next morning, I heard the people cutting the yard, the lawn men. I said, "Oh my goodness, let me go and remove the hose." I had never cut off the water. Rob,
Oh.
Rob. But and now I say that to say, if I had practiced what I was quote unquote getting into and learning, going over my day, looking at the things that I've done, and planning for 6 things that I would do the next day, prioritizing things that I needed to do the next day. If I had stayed in that thinking, I would have asked myself, did I cut off that water? And it wouldn't have stayed on from early evening till early morning. Yeah. So
You didn't reflect. You didn't go back and
ooh,
reflect.
Rob. So, and you know, and I had to think about that all day, because when I ran out and the gentleman on the mower, you know, looked up at me and waved, he saw me pulling the hose, and he knew that either I had gotten up early and started watering the grass in no place where I needed to water the grass, or that I had left that water on, and I truly had left that water on. But we encourage, I encourage everybody, you know, to take an assessment, you know, of where we are, who we are, what we're doing, what we'd love to do. Dream, you know, dream. And sometimes you have to dream and not tell people your dream. You know, we're quick to want to share. Well, I'm going to do this. We're going to have a destination wedding, and we're going to no. Sometimes, hey, you know, maybe you just keep, because somebody's going to say, of course, somebody's going to say, well, why are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? When are you going to do that? You can't do that. Yeah, you'll get all that.
Resistance.
Come on, that NMA, and it will sometimes prevent you from being the best you that you can be.
Yes.
But I tell you, if you check in with the Henderson Financial Group and let them know where you are and what visions you have, they can help you to plan, so that all of a sudden, if you would keep a journal, you could look back and say, in 2023, February of 2023, I had this dream, I had this idea, and I went to the Henderson Financial Group, and Mr. Henderson and Miss Harris and Miss Heisey and Mr. Antonio and Miss Hall and Larissa. Hey, they all came together to help me to get to a place that I had never been and that I could not imagine. And I think, hey, and then you can tell that story to somebody and hopefully, and Rob, and hopefully encourage them, because, hey, if George starts listening to us, he going to be calling the Henderson Financial Group.
That's true. That's very true. Hey, especially how we just saved the guy $1 million from writing a check to the IRS, right?
Hey, Rob.
And he got a $1,600 refund. He was supposed to write a check to $1 million. No. You got the wrong accountants, the wrong CPA. They missed and made mistakes on a whole lot of stuff for your stuff, man. They didn't know what they were doing. They were just charging you fees, but they didn't take advantage of all you had available to take advantage. They wasn't taking advantage of the tax code. They didn't.
That's what I was about to say. Or they didn't take advantage of the tax code and the opportunity of you having not just a tax preparer, but a tax planner.
Tax planner. That's right.
Yeah. It's here, folks. It's here for us. The thing that you need to help you to get where you've never been before. And that's what I don't even pray for stuff that I can see. Anything I can see, I believe I can get. I want that God has for me that I can't even see.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's what action is.
Rob. It caused me to act too, Rob. It caused me to do things that I don't normally do, like work 7 days a week. I haven't worked 7 days a week. I don't know if I've ever worked 7 days a week until now, but I got a plan, Rob.
You working on something. I'm working on something, brother. You working on something. You gonna tell us how you did it too. You gonna tell the world once it comes, and you causing that effect to take place.
I'm working on something. And I'm not gonna work now. I'm not working 7 days a week for the rest of my life. Now that's not the choice.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to, because you working on a cause though. You putting that cause together. The cause, and then the law says, okay, James, what you've done, you caused this effect to take place.
Well done, that good and faithful servant.
Oh man, well, come up to the big house and put this robe on you, and we can feast. I'm gonna be right there with you, James, feasting too.
I can't do it without you, Rob.
Hey man, say a prayer for us, man.
Oh, Father God, we thank you for, first of all, dear God, we thank you for this right now moment. For truly, many of us are asking for blessings, not realizing the blessing that we have right now, being in your presence. Thank you for your presence with us. Protect and keep us. And if by chance, dear God, we are ready for that you have for us, that we cannot see, we ask that you would deliver, prepare us to be able to take it to another level, whatever it is that you're going to provide for us to use to be a blessing for others. And all those that will hear this, whether it's now or later, we ask that you would touch their hearts so that they can increase their consciousness and awareness to be able to receive the blessings that you have for them as well, so that they can bless their families and bless others. We pray a special prayer for Brother George Wallace, his health, his strength, and of course, his visit to our community. And we promise, as you bless us, we will continue to give you praise and to worship your holy name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Church say amen.
Yes,
amen.
Yes. Hey, brother, it's always a pleasure, man.
Always a pleasure, man. I tell you. And we got Miss Kim Mills, boy. She was zeroing in on us today, wasn't she?
Ooh, I want to be a blessing. She don't know how powerful that is. She just wrote, like Rob.
Powerful word.
She said, I want to be a blessing.
Oh, you will be.
And most people are going to say, I want to be blessed. And she's going to be blessed because she's wanting to be a blessing. Have a great day. Love you.
Have a great day. Love you. Have a great weekend, you all. Be safe. Peace.